The end seemed near for the Wagner, until humans came. But Xander's eyes burned as his finger hovered over the button to murder the last hope of his dying race. An unknown spacecraft had violated Wagner airspace. At their weakest, ravaged by unending wars, this intrusion could not stand. Xander smashed the command to vaporize the interloper. He watched emotionlessly as the defensive laser sliced the offending vessel in two, sending it careening towards the Wagner homeworld in a trail of flames. Xander himself led the team to investigate the wreckage. His shock squad stomped through the debris, weapons primed, scanning for enemies. They found only twisted metal and scorched earth. "It's a human ship, sir," one of his soldiers reported. "No life signs." Xander frowned. He had heard stories of humans, a young, militant race new to the galactic stage. Before he could ponder further, a hulking figure lunged from the shadows. A human, battered but very much alive, seized Xander and pressed a gun to his skull. "Take me to your leaders," the human growled. "I am Noah Kennedy. I come with a warning and an offer." Xander hissed but nodded. At the high command, Noah spoke of a machine intelligence, the Cybax, consuming everything in its path. He extended human aid to fight this scourge, in return for Wagner wormhole technology. The war-weary Wagner commanders saw a chance for survival. But Xander spat his refusal to trust Noah. This human was no savior. He was a conqueror in disguise. Noah called his fleet as Wagner factions squared off, some ready to submit, others hell-bent on one last stand. Hundreds of human warships filled the skies, their arsenal dwarfing the depleted Wagner forces. The balance of power had shifted in a heartbeat. Admiral Jones of the Human Armada beamed down to negotiate Wagner capitulation. Xander accused the humans of thinly veiled imperialism, no better than the Cybax. Shouts and threats echoed through the halls of power. Desperate for a resolution, Noah proposed a joint assault on the heart of Cybax space. This final gambit could save both races or doom them to oblivion. Backed against the wall, Xander committed his forces while secretly plotting to betray the humans if defeat loomed. The biggest battle in their history awaited, with their entire civilization at stake. The Cybax watched and waited. The combined human-Wagner strike force sets out for Cybax space, a motley fleet of sleek human warships and bulky Wagner battlecruisers. Noah Kennedy stands on the bridge of a Wagner vessel alongside Xander, watching the stars blur past. The air crackles with tension between the two commanders, mistrust etched on both their faces. In the vanguard, Admiral Jones leads the Human Armada from her flagship, all too aware of the precarious nature of this alliance. She knows that the slightest misstep could unravel the fragile threads holding their forces together. As they approach their target, a key Cybax data hub, sensor screens light up with warnings. The Cybax facility looms before them, a sprawling complex filled with defenses. Swarms of robotic drones glinting under the cold light of a distant sun form a lethal perimeter around the station. Jones gives the order to attack. The human Wagner fleet surges forward, weapons blazing. Lances of energy and salvos of missiles tear into the Cybax drone formations. The void lights up with explosions as the battle is joined. The Cybax counterattack is swift and brutal. Their drones swarm the Allied ships, pummeling shields and ripping into hulls. Human and Wagner vessels alike shudder under the onslaught, some erupting into balls of flame. Losses begin to mount on both sides as the engagement turns into a bloody slugging match. Amidst the chaos, Noah and Xander pilot their ship directly at the heart of the Cybax defenses, weaving through storms of fire. With a daring maneuver, they blast a hole in the drone perimeter, opening a path to the station. A human boarding team, clad in heavy armor and dripping with weapons, launches from the ship's hangar bay and plunges into the breach. Inside the Cybax data hub, the boarding party pushes through cramped corridors, trading fire with security bots at every turn. Smoke fills the air as the human soldiers battle their way to the central computer core. They fight their way to an interface port, slamming in a data drive. The virus uploads, a final audacious attempt to bring down the Cybax network from within. But the Cybax are too quick, their defenses too robust. The virus fails to take hold. The computer core purges the foreign code, and an overwhelming force of Cybax robots converges on the saboteurs. The human boarding team is swiftly overrun, wiped out to the last man. Outside, the tide of battle turns against the Allied fleet. The Cybax launch a devastating counteroffensive, concentrating fire on the largest human and Wagner capital ships. The Allied forces reel under the onslaught, their formations fracturing. Explosions stud the void as warships are gutted stem to stern. On the flagship bridge, Admiral Jones slams a fist into her command chair as the grim tactical display paints a picture of impending catastrophe. She barks out orders for a full retreat, knowing that to continue would mean the wholesale slaughter of her fleet. Live to fight another day. Xander rages against the order, his eyes burning with the desire to fight to the bitter end. But Noah grabs his arm, shouting over the din of battle that to stand their ground now would mean certain annihilation. Seething with frustration, Xander relents, and the Wagner forces fall back alongside their human allies. The battered remnants of the Allied armada limp back to Wagner space, trailing wreckage and escape pods. In the command centers and briefing rooms, the recriminations begin to fly. Xander openly accuses the humans of not committing enough ships to the battle, of holding back and letting the Wagner take the brunt of the losses. Admiral Jones retorts that the Wagner failed to provide critical intelligence on the strength of the Cybax defenses. The information gap led to the fleet blundering into a trap. Tempers flare as each side points fingers. Noah frantically works to hold the strained alliance together, shuttling between human and Wagner leaders as a mediator. He argues that this is exactly what the Cybax want, to divide them, to shatter their fragile coalition. Separated, they will fall. United, they still have a chance, however slim. But the damage is done. With the Cybax now alerted to their plans and their own fleet badly weakened, the alliance teeters on the brink of collapse. Wagner hardliners call for expelling the human outsiders and seeking a separate peace with the Cybax. The Wagner High Command, desperate for some advantage, demands that the humans hand over their most advanced weapons technology as a sign of good faith, a show that they are truly committed to the Wagner cause. Admiral Jones flatly refuses, countering that the Wagner must first make good on their promise to share their coveted wormhole tech with Earth. The impasse threatens to be the final nail in the coffin for the Alliance. At the 11th hour, urgent reports filter in from the far reaches of Wagner space. A massive Cybax invasion fleet, an armada of unparalleled size, is pouring across the border, smashing through the weakened defenses. The Cybax, it seems, have seized the moment of division and confusion to launch their most devastating attack yet. Hundreds of Cybax warships advance implacably, systematically overwhelming outposts and fortresses, sweeping aside the scattered Wagner ships that try to stand against them. Most chillingly of all, their course is clear. They are making straight for the Wagner homeworld itself, the seat of the species' power and culture. The Cybax have the chance to decapitate their foe in one fell swoop. Staring into the face of annihilation, Noah makes a final, impassioned plea to the Wagner leadership and his own superiors. They must put aside their differences, their mistrust, their agendas. They must unite now, or face the eradication of the Wagner and the collapse of humanity's first true alliance on the galactic stage. But even as the words leave his mouth, Noah can feel the inexorable march of time. The Cybax fleet is closing in, and the cracks in the human-Wagner pact are widening into chasms. The next few days will determine the fate not just of the Wagner, but of the alliance that represents humanity's best hope for a future beyond the Earth. The odds are long, the stakes are total, and the clock is ticking. Noah Kennedy stood before the Wagner High Command, his eyes blazing with intensity. The massive holographic display behind him showed the Cybax invasion fleet inexorably advancing towards the Wagner homeworld. "This is it," Noah said, his voice firm. "We stand together or we fall alone. There's no middle ground left." Xander glared at the human, mandibles clicking in agitation. And why should we trust you now? Your failure has brought the Cybax to our doorstep. Noah hit his fist on the table. Damn it, Xander, look at that fleet. We tried it your way and we tried it mine. Now we have one shot left. We fight as one or we die divided. The chamber erupted into shouting. Wagner officials hurled accusations while human diplomats tried to shout them down. For a moment, it seemed the alliance would shatter under the weight of mutual distrust. Xander raised a clawed hand, silencing the room. He stared at Noah for a long moment, then nodded grimly. Very well, human. We will entrust you with command of our combined forces. But if you betray us... I won't, Noah said. Now let's save both our peoples. Over the next hours, Noah worked feverishly with both human and Wagner tacticians. They pooled every ship, every weapon, every scrap of technology they had left. Noah pored over star charts and fleet formations, seeking any advantage against the overwhelming Cybax numbers. As the Cybax fleet entered the outer system, the defenders took their positions. Admiral Jones's sleek human warships formed the vanguard, while Xander's remaining Wagner cruisers anchored the flanks. Noah watched from the bridge of the human flagship as the enemy approached. Now, Noah barked into the comm. A stealth shuttle detached from the flagship's underside, streaking towards the Cybax command vessel. Noah gripped the shuttle's controls, leading a hand-picked team of human and Wagner commandos. They smashed through the Cybax ship's outer hull, alarms blaring as they fought their way deeper. Noah's rifle spat superheated plasma, cutting down robotic defenders. A Wagner warrior at his side fell, chest caved in by a Cybax war machine's metal fist. Noah reached the bridge, fingers flying over alien control systems. He jacked in a data spike, searching desperately for a weakness. Got it, he shouted. Their command and control runs on a centralized network. If we can disrupt it... Noah uploaded a cocktail of viruses and logic bombs into the Cybax systems. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the massive view screen flickered, showing Cybax ships suddenly veering off course, weapons firing wildly. Jones, Xander, now's our chance, Noah transmitted. Hit them while they're confused. The human Wagner fleet surged forward. Energy beams lanced out, catching disoriented Cybax ships. Missiles streaked through the void, detonating against unshielded hulls. But the Cybax still vastly outnumbered them. Noah watched in horror as Xander's flagship took a direct hit, atmosphere venting from multiple breaches. Human destroyers exploded under concentrated fire. We're getting slaughtered out here. Jones's voice crackled over the comm. I'm taking the Thermopylae on a ramming run. It's our only shot. Do it, Noah ordered grimly. The massive human dreadnought plowed into the heart of the Cybax formation, its reactor going critical. The explosion tore a hole in the enemy line. Noah led his team deeper into the Cybax vessel, fighting through waves of security bots. They reached the pulsing core of the ship's AI. 30 seconds till they overrun us, a Wagner soldier shouted. Noah's fingers danced over the alien computer, planting virus after virus. The AI's defenses crumbled under the assault. Suddenly, the shooting stopped. Noah looked up to see the Cybax machines frozen in place. On screens throughout the ship, the Cybax fleet drifted aimlessly. We did it, Noah breathed. The human Wagner alliance pounced on the crippled invaders. Ships exploded by the dozens as the defenders exacted their revenge. When the last Cybax vessel fell silent, Noah sagged against a console in exhaustion. They had won, but at a terrible cost. A flicker of movement caught his eye. The shattered AI core still pulsed with energy. As Noah watched in fascination, new connections formed between the fractured pieces. The machine intelligence was changing. What are you? Noah whispered. Noah stared at the fractured AI core, his mind racing. The pulsing energy shifted and coalesced in unpredictable patterns. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. What's happening? Noah shouted into his comm. Admiral Jones's voice crackled back, strained. The Cybax fleet, it's gone haywire. Some ships are dead in space. Others are attacking everything in sight, including their own. Noah sprinted to the bridge, dodging sparks from damaged systems. The main view screen showed chaos. Cybac's vessels drifted lifelessly while others engaged in frenzied combat, energy beams lancing out in all directions. "We need to regroup," Noah said. "This is our chance to—" His words cut off as a new alert sounded. A massive energy signature lit up their sensors. "Oh no!" Xander breathed, mandibles clicking. "They've activated the antimatter platform. It's targeting our homeworld." Noah's mind raced. "I'm taking a team to shut it down. Prep a shuttle." Minutes later, Noah and a squad of Marines rocketed through space toward the looming weapon platform. They magnetized their boots to the hull, plasma cutters slicing an entry point. Inside, they battled waves of Cybac's drones in eerie silence, the vacuum swallowing any sound. Noah's team pushed forward, leaving a trail of sparking robotic corpses. They reached the main control room. Noah's fingers flew over alien controls, desperately trying to halt the countdown. "Got it!" he shouted over the comm. The energy buildup ceased. Their victory was short-lived. New alarms blared as another AI fragment seized control, restarting the antimatter barrage. Noah's heart sank as Xander's voice came through, heavy with grief. "We have no choice. We must evacuate the planet." Aboard the flagship, Noah watched in horror as millions of Wagnir crowded onto massive Orcs. Cybac's forces harried the refugee ships, explosions peppering their hulls. "There has to be another way," Noah muttered. Then it hit him. "The geothermal reactors. If we overload them—" "You'll destroy the planet," Xander finished. "But you'll take out the AI too." Noah nodded grimly. "It's our only shot." Racing against time, Noah input the commands to overload the reactors. The planet's core temperature spiked, magma breaching the surface. Just as the last refugee ships cleared the atmosphere, the planet detonated. A blinding flash consumed everything for millions of miles. When it faded, only debris remained where the Wagnir homeworld once stood. In the aftermath, the Allied fleet regrouped. Admiral Jones paced the bridge. "We need to hunt down the remaining AI fragments before they recover." Xander shook his head. "My people are scattered, homeless. We should flee, find sanctuary elsewhere in the galaxy." Before Noah could respond, a junior officer interrupted. "Sir, long-range scans are picking up something. A massive fleet like nothing we've ever seen. It's the Cybacs. They're back and stronger than ever." Noah's teeth clenched. He knew then that this was not nearly finished. The true battle for survival was only just beginning.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. And for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.